Hello, everybody. My name is Sigil, and welcome to another episode of Kitchen Witch Thursdays. This week's episode is an at home white chocolate mocha. Now, if you're a frequenter of coffee houses, Starbucks, Caribou, what have you, white chocolate mocha is this like warm coffee drink that has milk and white chocolate and a whole bunch of other good stuff in it. It's also usually like a holiday thing, or at least around here it is. Kind of a winter Christmas thing. But the thing is, like, a lot of the drinks that you see at these coffee houses are surprisingly easy to make at home. They just don't want you to know that. And so this is one of those where this is how you can make your own white chocolate mocha. Um, this is what I call a crowdsourced recipe, which is very similar to the London Fog Tea, which was my first episode on this series, where I was like, okay, I wonder if there's a way that I can do this for myself. And I went out and I browsed around the internet and I found, half a dozen recipes. And I basically compared all the recipes together and then took the consistent elements of them and then played with the recipe myself, tweaking here and there until it was what I wanted it to be. Um, so that's how this recipe kind of came into existence. So this is a combination of Google recipes and my own tinkering and experience as a home cook. So, again, this is surprisingly easy. All you're really going to need is 1 cup of milk, 1 cup of coffee, 1 ounce of white chocolate, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now, normally, the point of this series is that you don't need the expensive ingredients, you don't need the expensive equipment, blah, 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 blah. But I am going to make a note about the white chocolate here. Anytime you are making a drink with chocolate, you do not want to use basically like your low quality chocolate chips. And this is because, and I, past experience making a lot of hot chocolate. Slow cooker hot chocolate was something I made a lot because it was really easy. And I learned real quick that if you use low quality chocolate, it develops a film on top because there's oil in the chocolate to help it, keep its shape and stuff. And that separates out when you heat it for long periods in liquid. So chocolate chips are perfectly fine for, baking cookies and things like that, but they are not good for when you want them in a drink. So for this recipe, a small bit of splurging is sort of necessary. I have tried, I know Ghirardelli is a big name in, like, chocolate. Their stuff is pretty quality, so just, like, a baggie of Ghirardelli chocolate chips. A baking bar, like I say baking bar, but I guess it's called like baker's chocolate. A bar of baker's chocolate will do just fine. Or, I actually haven't tried, out here there's candy melts, which are like chocolate that is intentional for melting and doing like chocolate covered pretzels and stuff. Some places that I've seen claim that this is also okay for these kinds of drinks, but I personally haven't tried it. So my personal recommendation is either a bar of baker's chocolate or a higher quality chocolate chip like the Ghirardelli. So, like I said, otherwise you're going to get this weird film on top and this weird like oil on top, and it's really gross and just not cool for anything. So, it's weird. But yeah, so to start, basically you put your milk in a saucepan and heat it on medium-low-ish heat until it's warm. You don't want it to start boiling, you just want it to be warm. And basically what I have found with this recipe is that if I put my milk in a saucepan, put it on medium-low heat, and then go make my coffee, by the time the coffee is done, the milk is pretty much a good temperature. Now, I also happen to have a Keurig, so I can, set it to 8 ounces and have it, pour that out. But If you guys don't have that, then, just regular, you can basically just make like a regular carafe of coffee, or if you have any leftover or whatever, that works just fine. So, yeah, heat your milk until it's warm, make your coffee. Once your milk is warm, stir in that 1 ounce of chocolate, and it'll melt. It should melt pretty easily into the milk. Then you want to remove it from the heat and add the vanilla extract. Make sure you stir it really nicely. And then pour that milk mixture into the coffee, stir it up, and enjoy. You can optionally top this with whipped cream, but I personally don't like whipped cream, so I just kind of don't. But yeah, that's kind of a more authentic coffee house experience, is to, add a little whipped cream to the top of your coffee. Now, one interesting thing I found here, because I like flavored coffees, and so I do have a like peppermint mocha flavored coffee. Like, that's the whole point, is when you brew it as a straight black coffee, it's supposed to taste like a peppermint mocha. And it kind of does, but kind of not really. There's only like this slight tint of peppermint to it. But interestingly enough, that is one of my favorite variances of this, is using that not white chocolate mocha, that's the recipe, is using the peppermint mocha coffee for this, because it kind of tastes like a peppermint white chocolate mocha, but with less peppermint. Because anytime I order peppermint from any like coffee house in any drink or anything, they always way overdo it, and it's too strong, and I hate it. But this is a really good variance on that. So, like I said, super easy, takes a little more time than making a regular pot of coffee, but I find that to be worth it, especially because I don't like my coffee black, and this is a really good, just something a little different than sticking a bunch of creamer in my coffee and, drinking. So, and as always, this wouldn't be a Kitchen Witch series without a little bit of witchcraft associations thrown in here. So we're working with three primary ingredients that have featured before in my recipes, which is milk, chocolate, and vanilla. Milk obviously standing for comfort, chocolate being for grounding and self-love, and vanilla being for comfort and warmth. Now, coffee is something that hasn't featured yet, but, it has the obvious associations. You drink coffee, it's your morning wake-up juice, it's your get up and go, it's your energy. People hit that 3 p.m. slump and go straight for the coffee to help them wake up in the afternoons to sort of finish out their workday. So, in a sense, this is a coffee drink. So it does have that, it is associated with that energy, that get up and go. But at the same time, it's sort of this get up and go, but be comfortable with it, because you have two things in here standing for comfort. And the chocolate is a grounding element, which I believe is something that I have featured before as sort of a, yes, this is a drink that's meant to give you a crap ton of energy, but the chocolate kind of mellows it out, so it's like, I have energy, but I'm not like super, super high sort of situation. It turns out really nicely. I'm quite pleased with it in all senses. So there's that going on. So that being said, if you guys like these videos, please don't forget to check the links to my coffee page, because for every 20th consecutive coffee, which at $3 a coffee equals out to about $60 USD, give or take some, I actually will be able to afford a set of secondary ingredients for the week. So for every 20th coffee that is bought, the following week, I will put out a second video. So if you guys want to see more videos from me, go tip me a coffee, because that's the only way that's going to happen for right now. So with that being said, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week.